community event, St. Petersburg, in all the surrounding community. So, and I just want to give you the genesis, the background of this little library, which is not a little library, thanks to the creator. You know who that is, I'll introduce him. So I'll give a little story. Once upon a time, there was a big, free little library. Two friends were chatting over herbal tea, and they cautiously pulled down their masks to talk. Nothing political, just back and forth things we could do for the community. And the conversation jumped all over the place. You know how that is. And we talked about a little library, and then we went on to something else, right? Kind of dog-eared that conversation, that little topic. You know how you bend that page down in a book to come back to later? Okay? And we just sat there and talked, and then we said, okay, well, hopefully this little quarantine will be over. No thought about the little library. Just moved on. So as stories go, sagas go, there's a vision, there's a prelogue, there's, in this case, a dog ear, something to come back later. The vision, as you must always know, is never in a silo. It may come in your head and you think it's your idea or intellectual property, but you need others to help it to come to fruition.
Amen.
It's others, it's community, it's people that believe in you, making it come to fruition. So I thought nothing of it. Continued on, COVID passed, and then one day I got a phone call. The shakers and the movers in the village, those that are instrumental in helping others, and sometimes you don't even know who's helpful. They do their thing, they don't want credit or anything. So, but I'm gonna follow them back. Now I may not get everyone, so don't feel bad, but you're in my heart and you know what you did. My friend, and she's not here, Pam Frank, meaning she's here physically in the body, but she's not here. I call her the pollinator. A very quiet lady, living in Gulf, and it was her that I had a little tea talk with. And she just nodded her head and went on. But a month later, she called me up. She said, "Oh, I have 2,000 books for you." I'm like, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I have 2,000 books for you. You know, for that little library." I said, "What am I gonna do with 2,000 books?" Okay. Youth Advocate Program. Hey, there you go. And kudos. Came to the rescue, provided the storage for the 2,000 books for like 6 months until I kind of figured out what to do with it. So, you know, I just needed help, and Story Camp came and helped to unload those 2,000 books into the storage bin. Just hit the side. Okay, so that was teamwork again. And there's so many others. Let me just go down. JWB, Juvenile Welfare Board, helped with training and providing me books, because throughout COVID, youth time bankers helped stock books in different locations, but they always provided training and more books for me. St. Pete Time Bank volunteered on the spot, just making a phone call, they're there. And like I said, there's so many others personally, and if I start naming you individually, I'll be here all day, but thank you. Kudos to what you do for me and for the community. And I say for me, because I always say, "What do you want, Sheena?" No, it's not really about me, it's about the community. And then what really set this off, the funding for this, came from the Pinellas County Sheriff Citizens Association. It was a grant. It was a grant. And so Kidzonomics applied for the grant, and we were awarded that grant. And as things go, someone steps up against that. Here, I got the grant, and I want a little library. So who's gonna help me out? Well, from Louisiana, one of the best architects, carpenter, craftsman, and he's hiding. Was supposed to. Mr. James Boswell and his wife came. Woo! So again, I get these visions, no details, and he says, "What do you want?" Well, do what you do. Do what you do, man. And not only did he do that one, there's a second one. There's a twin to this one. Okay? So again, I'm looking for a little home for the second one. So if you know the place that's strategically located, because this is between two schools. This is the heart of a community, okay? And we're gonna provide services. Now, I would be remiss and not mentioning the fact that now we needed some place to put it. So Story ran around and made the connection. So Miss Mamie Jackson, who is here, she saw the vision. She carried the rest of the torch to the board here. Cross and Amble, thank you so much, Reverend Clarence Williams. Appreciate you seeing the vision and without hesitation, wholeheartedly. Yes. I mean, it's like it takes the community, right? So I'm just saying that this is a community event. We know what's happening in the world, but we're not going to let anyone stop us from meeting. We're not going to let anyone. So I would be, again, remiss if I didn't recognize other organizations in this community that have tirelessly, or as my word is, indefatigably, taken on the task of making sure that our youth, our kids, juveniles, if you want to be called, young adults, our future, to make sure they read beyond their levels of capacity. So, get my little list here. It is with much love and respect to acknowledge a few of the organizations. There's just so many. There are so and individuals that do this. Master Kids, Barbershop Book Club, Phyllis Wheatley Rise to Read campaign. The Culture Books, JWD, Thrive by 5. That's just a few, and I know there's so many more. Kudos, thank you. We're going to join that effort. Story, Kidzonomics, and youth time making. Fostering a reading culture with supportive strategies that will ignite youth's insatiable love for reading to learn. Reading to learn. And we're going to make sure they learn to read. That's our job.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yes.
So they're going to read to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Walking encyclopedia. Now, so I'm asking the community, if you have any books in your cubbies at home that are in really good condition, okay? Not to drop them off here, to let someone in Story know or let myself know when there's contact information inside, because we like to make sure we put them out at a certain time. So Cross and Amble is not open all the time, so you can't drop books here. Please don't. And I'll put that out there again. Now, this community has such richness, and it's such an honor to be able to have this guest speaker here that is from the roots. And you know I like gardening, so I mean from the roots. Our iconic speaker, an individual rooted in the educational foundation of mentoring our future assets. He has for decades taken on the indefatigable task of inspiring and elevating youth to expand their knowledge bandwidth. Encourage youth to develop their talents. Our guest speaker, Mr. James Oliver.
All right, Mr. Hill.